Hello out there. Zapstream, come on. We're on the air. Damn. Oh, that's Rumble. We are live on Zapstream. Woohoo! Oh my goodness, you guys and girls. You would not believe what's the show even called today? We'll wait for a couple people to show up here. I announced the show was canceled, and then here we are. Uncanceled. Can't cancel us here. Okay, well, it is Fat Zap Friday, so we need a goal for that. Fat Zap Friday. Go to dashboard. Are we live on Zapstream? Seems like we are. I haven't got a warning yet. We're not on Rumble. I didn't have time to do that. Sorry, Rumble. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're live on Zapstream. We're back. We got some people rolling in too. Oh. Okay, you're going to have to give me about, I don't know, 5 minutes here. Get my life together here a little bit. And the light's not even on in this office right now. This was from 3 hours ago. Santino, happy Friday. 3 hours late. Cleaning machine. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Minus 22 in Alberta. Well, I could tell you what temperature it is because I'm pretty familiar with it firsthand. Sorry. I gotta get my shit together here. Minus 30 here right now. I would have guessed that. I actually would have guessed it was a little colder than that, but oh, it is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Jerry loves Trump. You should do a StreamYard where anyone can join on Fridays. Well, if I did do a StreamYard, I'll tell you who would not get the invite to that. Jerry loves Trump. Buck 52,000, shaved and dangerous. Ooh. For Valentine's Day. Look at that. Buck 52 was here. Might still be here. Cleaner machine. We got Ahsoka. Are we back? We might be back. And Letha. And we got the Zapstream. Okay. I did not think we were going to be here today. I'm not going to lie. But we are. So let's have fun. Let's have a good show. I just gotta let things settle down here a little bit. I'm very wound up. So I'm just trying to regulate myself. What am I going to do here? Mempool. Let's check on the mempool. Start with that. It's like talking about the weather. You can always check on the mempool and see if the Bitcoin network is still working. Did the sun come up today? Yes. Is the Bitcoin layer 1 network still pumping out blocks every 10 minutes? Looks like it. 883798. And Pool, the winner of the last block. We're just about caught up by the looks of it. Hey, look who decided to join us here. The man himself. The man himself. Oh, well, he's here. Let's have some beers, everybody. I got a soul tonight, this evening. It's supposed to be today. We're drinking souls. But with some red stuff in it. Clamato. Call this a chelada or a beer clam, whatever you want to call it. I probably won't be they're probably not I'm not gonna win any Emmy awards for the show today. Let's just say that. But we're gonna have some fun, I think. I should probably turn the lights on in here. Let's tell Nostr that we're live though, for sure. Hey Nostr, we're live. Hey Nostr, we are live. Join us. Okay. Well, I see some people in here. I don't know. Like, am I working here or what's going on? I don't know. It's kind of weird. It feels kind of weird right now. I'm not going to lie. But I'll carry on. I will carry on. Hopefully everybody can see me and hear me and we're live. I don't know. It's been, there's a bunch of people in here, but maybe the chat's broken. Okay. So nostr knows we're live. Mempool here. We've caught up. We're 13 blocks behind right now. Not much to report by the looks of it. Still incredibly cheap to be moving Bitcoin around right now if you need to. So we'll get rid of this. Nobody really cares too much about the mempool right now. Am I laggy? I feel like everything's really moving slow right now. But Arnie's alive. I'm alive. And let's get to a little bit of news here to start the show today. Well, we sort things out. I guess I should probably double check that this is actually working because something feels really off right now. Looks like we are. Okay. All right. Well, things are just weird here, I guess, today. So let's get to this. Let's start with the Cynthia Lummis. This was a very interesting video that I came across yesterday. I don't know. Things are really laggy right now. We should have just maybe. Okay, let's get to this. Let's start with this. I don't know what's going on. Share this tab. All right, let's listen to this guy. See what Cynthia Lummis has to say. Recent happenings in Bitcoin.
Just curious from your perspective, if it comes to it, I know Trump has not hesitated to use executive action to push some things through. Is there a possibility where if Congress resists the Bitcoin reserve proposal, do you see a path where the president could enact some form of Bitcoin policy through executive action?
I think the White House is researching that right now to try and understand the extent of their abilities to take existing government assets that are denominated in US dollars, extent of their abilities to take existing government assets that are denominated in US dollars and convert them to Bitcoin. I think just intuitively that he probably has some of those powers. Now, what?
Just curious from your perspective.
Pardon me, Cynthia Lummis. What was that you just said? You're going to want to potentially take some of the existing government assets denominated in US dollars and convert those to Bitcoin? Okay. I wonder what that could be. I wonder why we titled the show today, Swap Your Gold for Bitcoin. Because when the US starts selling its gold for Bitcoin, what happens then? What happens then? Because you have to understand that the majority of gold on Earth is is owned by the central banks, by countries. That's the main use of gold right now. They're locked away in some bunkers, some Fort Knox, maybe. All around the world, all these countries are holding gold right now. And then they're holding it as a reserve asset because they think that it is the best reserve asset. And it was until January 3rd, 2009, when the very first Bitcoin block was mined. Then it became not the best reserve asset anymore. So when the US starts selling gold or selling their gold certificates, because we have a pretty good hunch that they don't actually have the gold. So when they start unloading their gold certificates for Bitcoin, What do you think the other countries are going to do? Just guess. What do you think the other countries are going to do? Do you think that they're going to say, you know what, the U.S. is crazy. The U.S. has gone mad. They're idiots. They're selling their gold. They're buying Bitcoin. Or are they going to say, what is the U.S. doing? Why are they selling their gold? Maybe there's something there. Maybe we should sell our gold for Bitcoin as well. And then what happens when another country does it? And then another country? And then who? First of all, what happens to the price? When the U.S. is dumping gold onto the market, what happens to the price? Well, a bunch of supply, not a whole lot of demand, because I don't think countries are going to be like, oh, you know what? Gold's on sale today. Let's pick up a bunch of it. No, they're going to say, how do we get rid of ours? How do we get rid of our gold? And that's exactly what's going to happen. So, clean your machine. There we go. The chat's working, I guess. I don't know if everybody was just scared to talk. Everybody's just scared to talk because we were an hour late. But yes, everything is good. I was a little bit scared. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty scared. I'll give you a real quick summary of what happened in my life in the last hour today. You can probably tell by my voice that I'm a little out of breath, for one. Out of breath, cold, and pretty shook up. So basically what happened is my parents ended up coming here last night. They stayed the night, had some Chinese food, watched the hockey game last night. First hockey game I've watched in a very long time. But it was fun. We had a good night, good day today. They went to leave, and Arnie just took off. And he usually, like, whenever he hates when people leave, especially my parents, he just hates when people leave because he likes them, obviously. So he started chasing after the vehicle, and I yelled for him to come back. And Arnie was a rescue dog, right? So we have to keep in mind here that he's very timid. Very timid. As soon as anything, he senses any potential danger, he's just like freaked out. I'm thinking something must have happened to him as a puppy, like something really bad, because we didn't get him till he was about, I think, 2 months old. They found him under a reserve in Saskatchewan. He got picked up and taken to the shelter. He went to one home, went back to another shelter, went to another home, and then he finally ended up with us. So in the first 2 months of his life there, I think that something very bad happened to him. I don't know what it was or who it was or anything, but anytime you yell now, he's very scared. So he wouldn't come inside. So I was honestly outside, and usually like in the summertime and when it's like mild weather, I just leave him out there because he's fine here. He's he just roams around the yard all day. But when he gets in that like scared mode, he just won't come anywhere near anybody. So I was out there with like the bone that I have for him, which I smoked. It's like a cow leg. I was out there with that, trying to lure him in. Treats, supper, everything. Wouldn't come near me because he was scared. He was scared because somebody yelled. And so again, usually I would just leave him out there, but obviously I had to do the show. I had to go shower. So I went and showered, came back out, and he wouldn't come near me. So my hair's wet. I'm outside. I have like a light jacket on. It's minus 30 here. I probably got a cold. I probably caught a cold. But I was mostly worried about him because he was out there for probably between him and I, he was out there for over an hour, minus 30. And he's a winter dog, but like that's still not a good thing for a dog. And I didn't want to leave him out there any longer. So I was, urgently trying to get him inside. And he could sense that in my voice. So he's, of course, pushing him further away. So finally I had to just go out there and start playing with him. So I ended up playing with him for about 10 or 15 minutes outside, minus 30. I didn't care how cold it was. I just needed to like get his trust back. And so we played with him for about 15 minutes outside. And then finally I get him to shake a paw. And then I just kind of grabbed him and I had to carry him inside. He's fucking 70 pounds. I had to carry him all the way inside. Not that it was like heavy or anything. Like that's not the issue here. It was just because it was so cold. So you can probably see my nose is still. I'm pretty sure I have frostbite on my hands. So anyways, we're okay. We're all right. Dog napper. Hey, Bodie. Happy Friday, my friend. Jay, late here in England, just chilling, cup of tea and some Bitcoin vibes. Cheers, my friend. Cheers to you. I was going to get another beer here, but I don't know how long this episode is going to be today. I almost just called it because I was like, you know what? We're already half an hour late. I don't really want to make people wait, but we're here. And I see Josh is over in Zapstream. So hello, Josh. Says it's buggy though. I kind of had the same thing. So it might not have been Zapstream. It might have just been my stream here. But it seems like we might be back. And we got a couple zaps here. We got one for 1,000, and I got to give a couple shout outs from yesterday's show too. So we'll see how the chat goes today. I might go grab another beer. We'll see. Actually, you know what? My mom and dad left Jack. No, I don't know if it was Jack Daniels. Jameson can, but it was like whiskey and lemonade. Probably gonna drink it tonight, so I might as well just. If we got some people in here if we're having a good time, well, I'll go crack it. If not, we'll just do a short show tonight. So we're in no rush. Hey, Jay, talk napper. That's what I felt like. Except he wasn't like at that point. He wasn't scared. He didn't have a collar on or anything, so I couldn't really grab him. That's a tough part. I was close to him like 10 times when we were playing and stuff, but I didn't want to like spook him again. So I'll get him to shake a paw, and then I just kind of bear hugged him. And then he wasn't even resisting at that point. He knew he had been caught. But anyways, it was way too cold for him out there. I was honestly scared because I didn't know how long he was going to be out there. And I could tell that he was like kind of walking around because his feet were like obviously fucking freezing. So anyways, we're good now. We're good. He knew he had been napped. He knew he was caught. And he just went like limp. But it's not like he was like, he wasn't causing trouble out there, like taunting me or anything. He just wouldn't come near me. He was just so scared. So anyways, Arnie is secured. It was a scary situation. I'm not going to lie, because minus 30-degree weather is nothing to fuck around with. That's for sure. And when he's in that kind of a mood, then he just kind of sees red. So he could have been like, hypothermic out there and he still wouldn't have come in. So I had to go play with him for a while, get his trust back. So we were wrestling and playing, and then I nabbed him. So suck to suck, Arnie. Where's the troublemaker now? I don't know where he went. He was here, but he I don't know. He's definitely carrying some baggage around from when he was a puppy. I think that he was pretty badly abused by somebody, which is very sad. He's very for a while he was very scared of like all men. He was very scared of garbage bags, and he's very scared of like dumpsters, which is really weird. But like we stayed at a condo for about a week, and there was a dumpster outside, and we shut the door on it one time, and he just fucking took off fast as he could go, as far as he could go. And so I think there was something with garbage bags, with a man and a garbage bin. I'm thinking, again, we were 2 months late to his life, so I have no idea what happened to him before that, but it's pretty sad, honestly. And it's hard when you're in that kind of like when you're trying to call him back and you're trying to be calm, but you're like a little bit panicky yourself because it's cold outside, and I didn't want him to be out there for very long. But unfortunately, the urgency in my voice kind of scared him even more, I think, and pushed him even further away. So anyways, we're okay now. We're okay. Had your first soul in Mexico a few weeks back. Really? Oh man, I love Soul. If I had one choice for a beer, it would be Soul. And thankfully the owners of the hotel here, the beer vendor in town, they're big Soul fans too. So never have to worry about running out of Soul. Is he chipped? No, I was never worried about him running away. Honestly, like when he's in that mode, and it happens quite often, honestly, because he gets scared so easily. So he just won't come inside. He won't come near anybody. He just kind of stays outside. We usually just leave him out there for a while because he You know, he just stands in the driveway, or he, you know, walks around the house or walks around the deck or whatever. I'm never worried about him running away. That's not the issue. It was just because it was so cold today. So anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to take up 10 minutes talking about Arnie here, but oh, Jay got another dog 2 days ago. There you go. Good for you, man. I feel so bad for dogs. I feel so bad for dogs. Hey, Lori. Happy Friday. So cheers, everybody. We're back. We're warming up here. I'm thawing out. My fingers are still kind of white, but we're okay. So I want to get through a couple zaps from the show the other day when the zap stream was still down, because there was a couple fatties. A couple fatties here. So Letha sent 2,000 sats. This was on Thursday, yesterday. 2,000 sats to Arnie. Love Letha. Thank you, Letha. I'm thinking this is from Josh. 888 sats. Said, Arn, chaos, please. Well, you got what you asked for, Josh. Too much chaos. Except, it wasn't chaos. It was just Arnie being scared. 6,888 sats from Ian E. Said, for the broken zap stream and great shows, buddy. Ian E. Thank you, Ian. 6,000 sats. Awesome. Duncan zapped 1,000 sats on Thursday as well. Said, sorry, I haven't zapped in a while. From Duncan. And we got a fatty today. Oh, Letha. 7,000 sats from Letha. Happy Valentine's Day from Letha. Well, we don't call her Letha legendary for nothing, that's for sure. And we got Creature Zap 50 over in the Zap stream. Right on. Zaps are rolling. It is Fat Zap Friday. We got a couple Fat Zaps from Thursday. And let's keep things rolling here. So what do we think about Lummis? Something there? She hinted at selling gold a while back too. I feel like we watched a clip a couple months ago or a month ago now of Cynthia Lummis talking about potentially selling the gold for Bitcoin. And she mentioned it again. There's a lot of things happening right now. And that's the one thing I was going to say about, I wanted to watch that video. Let's bring that up right now. I just got to find it here. So it was RFK. I also saw today, though, President Trump cuts all federal funding to schools that mandate the COVID vaccine. Kind of interesting, I would say, especially for the people out there who think that, what do they call Trump? The vaccine king or something? Kind of interesting to me that Trump never once said that anybody should have to take the vaccine. Kind of interesting to me that Trump actually talked about the wide range of alternative treatments for COVID throughout the entire pandemic, including HCQ and ivermectin, and is actually called a crazy person by the entire mainstream news for it. Also kind of crazy that he's now cutting off federal funding for any of the schools who are still pushing the COVID narrative and the vaccine mandates. So my opinion on that whole thing with Operation Warp Speed, you would not believe how many Bitcoiners and other people out there hold that against Trump still because of Operation Warp Speed. But that was the only way, because you have to keep in mind, if you went back to that point in history, I know it's easy to, where we are today and how crazy it seems and laughable now, but you have to go back to that time in history when all that was happening. And they were talking about, the narrative was, we need to wait for the vaccines and then we can open up again. As soon as we get these vaccines, we can go back to work. As soon as we get these vaccines, we can start traveling again. And they were just like, they were dangling it there. They're like, okay, well, everything's good once we have these vaccines. And then Trump came up with Operation Warp Speed and said, okay, well, vaccines are ready. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to school. Get the kids playing sports again. And I really believe that if we never had Operation Warp Speed there, we would have been locked in our fucking houses for another 3 years. because people were so full of fear at that point. They really believed at this point that the vaccine was going to save everybody and that COVID was this very dangerous thing. So could you imagine if we would have been in lockdown for another 3 years and businesses would have been closed and schools would have been shut down and sports would have been shut down? Could you imagine what our lives would have been like? Our mental state? It was bad enough after 1 year. So that's why, to me, it just makes me sick that people kind of like hang that over, and that's like their main knock against Trump is Operation Warp Speed, when really that's kind of what got everything back to normal faster. So, plus, again, he offered many alternative treatments for it and was mocked for it. So I'm kind of tired of talking about it, but at the same time, it's still nice to just like let people know how stupid they are sometimes. And you know what? I got to watch what I say. I really have to watch what I say here. And I was just talking about this exact thing on the show yesterday, and apparently I didn't learn my lesson. What happened here on Zapstream? Are we still live? Looks like I need to top up my balance here. Is Zapstream cut off? No, it couldn't have. So I had 10,000 sats on Zapstream, but now I'm down to 1,000. But I guess Kieran had some issues with it. So I'm going to learn my lesson there, and I'm not ever going to zap 10,000 to Zapstream just in case this ever happens again. But that's kind of unfortunate because it's not like I'm going to reach out to Kieran and say, hey, Kieran, you owe me 10,000 sats, man. Sorry. So I guess those are just gone forever, but that's okay. All right. Let's get this topped up. Let's keep going. Are we still Zapstream? Can somebody confirm that we're still on Zapstream? This thing cut off for me. It looks like we are. Okay. I'll catch up on a couple comments here while it's still relevant. Hey, AV. Sub 100,000 Bitcoin is on sale, 100%. Sharper says, if you sell gold for 10K, would you smash buy all into Bitcoin or get some micro strategy also? I would go all Bitcoin, personally, because you already have the money. You already have the money outside of the system. The micro strategy is good for any money that's trapped in the old system. That's it. Because you have to understand why there's a premium on that, because that's all the capital that's trapped in the old system that's trying to get exposure to Bitcoin. That's why hedge funds, all these big entities are trying to buy or are buying MicroStrategy, and they're paying 2 or 3 times the price of Bitcoin for it. Why? Because they can't buy Bitcoin. You can. I don't think you have any shareholder agreements or regulations within your family of what kind of assets you can hold. So you can buy Bitcoin for a significantly lower rate than these people are paying for it right now. Keep that in mind. You have to ask yourself, why is there a premium on MicroStrategy right now? It's because there's a ton of capital out there who cannot get Bitcoin. They cannot buy Bitcoin. So they have to do the next best thing, which is either the ETF or MicroStrategy. And they're willing to pay 2x for it. So, and some organizations, some entities can actually hold ETFs. So that's why their MicroStrategy is like a perfect thing for them. Plus, with their convertible notes, the bonds, there's a lot of entities out there that can only hold bonds. So that whole combination of the premium and the excess there, the premium there. Sorry, I feel like I can't even talk right now because of my voice. But that's why they're buying it, because they can't buy Bitcoin. You can. Sharper, you can buy Bitcoin. So I would go 100% Bitcoin. Daniel says, just sent 888. Got to get back to Valentine's Day with the sweetie. Well, thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that, my friend. Oh, we got a couple here. 2,000 sats. Don't know who this is from, but it says, love for Arnie. Glad to hear he's home and well. Me too. And here's Daniel's app of 888 sats. Thank you, Daniel. Very much appreciate that, everybody. Those people still exist. I know. It's hard, eh? It's hard to believe. Josh says, I still don't speak with my father-in-law over his fanatical buy-in over the vaccine. He despises Trump, yet goes to Florida for golfing. I bet his yap is shut down there right now. No doubt. The golf course in Florida would be the last place on earth that you'd want to be talking negatively about Donald Trump. That's hilarious. It's crazy though. Think back at just how many like families were destroyed from that, how many friendships were destroyed from that. But for me, honestly, like I'm thankful. I lost a lot of people in my life over that for sure. Like I felt like I was banished from society. And I found out who my real friends were. And there's some people who I just don't talk to now because of that. And that's okay, because they were never really, supposed to be in my life, in my opinion. So thanks, Jay. All right, click the like. Yeah, where's Rick? Where's our guy, Rick? I guess we're afternoon stream today. This is very different for me. I'm not used to drinking beers on the show here. So beers are probably fine. I think if and when we get into the whiskey, that might be a whole nother story. Sorry, I saw this comment from Bangerang. Joy the dog whisperer. Happens, man. Glad you got him back in the warm house. So the cat named Lucky, who also just showed up here one day, and now he lives here, and we fucking have to feed him and buy a cat house for him and a litter box and treats and everything. So this cat showed up. He's a good cat. But anyways, him and Arnie they love each other. They would, if they could, they would spend all day together. And so Arnie was out there, Lucky was out there, and I'm thinking they were playing. When I went up to shower for the first time, I was like, okay, I'll come back in 5 minutes. Arnie will be good to go, and we'll get these guys inside. I opened the door up. Lucky's sitting there. He's a black cat, fully covered in snow and ice. So they were playing with each other. Arnie was obviously licking him or drooling on him or whatever and rolling in the snow. He was absolutely covered in snow and ice, this cat. So he obviously came running in, and then Arnie took off. So the cat is much smarter than Arnie in terms of knowing, the temperature outside. Santino, hey, we got to your first comment here from almost 4 hours ago. But good to see you're back, my friend. Happy Valentine's Day. Guess who's leading the Four Nations tournament? US versus Canada tomorrow night. Yeah, we actually watched the US and Finland last night. The US would be leading that right now. US has been killing it lately in hockey. 2 back-to-back junior championships. They crushed Finland last night, and I don't know if they'll beat Canada or not tomorrow. Canada's got a pretty good team. They got McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid on the same team. So I think the U.S. actually will get hopefully humbled tomorrow night, but we'll see. I'll be watching it actually. I'm interested. It takes a lot to get me interested, but I'm interested. Josh says, all good. I hated my father-in-law before anyways. That just reinforced my hatred for him. Like you said, it was a blessing in disguise to purge your life of stupid people. It's true. That's how I see it. I wouldn't say stupid. I mean, they are for sure. I don't know if stupid is the word though. I'd say just very brainwashed and stubborn and not able to think for ththemselves. And that's a very bad trait to have. Bitcoiners do not have any of those traits, which I like. And going back to this, I wouldn't say they're stupid. I'm just not aligned with them. I'm not on the same frequency as them. And I'm sure you've dealt with people in your life, in friendships and relationships, that you're just not on the same kind of wavelength as frequency. And that's kind of who I got rid of in my life. So it's all good. Oh, by the way, I was going to ask you guys, I meant to say this at the start of the show today, But like, do I sound okay? Like, I know my voice is kind of fucked up right now, but like, other than that, is it choppy or anything? Because Letha sent me an email this morning saying that the video I posted last night was the audio was bad. And I went and listened to it and it was horrible. So the mic's on. I think that this mic's connected, but I'm just wondering if something like happened to my microphone or if we're okay now. Just let me know if, okay. Thank you, Letha. We're good. And thanks for letting me know yesterday. I don't know what happened there. It might've been the microphone in my webcam instead of my actual microphone here, but yeah, it was horrible. So apologies for that. Cats and dogs. They're so funny, man. But anyways, that's enough about cats and dogs here, the show. Yeah, and this is it too. This is part of it. Like he was definitely spooked, but like he could honestly just stay outside forever. If it was up to Arnie, he would never come inside. So I get it. And especially like with his type of dog, like his breed, he's made for the winter. But even so, like it wasn't good that he was out there that long. So I hope he's okay. I don't know if dogs get colds or anything, but it appears as though we will be good. And I really didn't want to come on here and make this about a cat and dog show, but I went like the first 5 minutes without talking about it. I thought you guys would just let me off the hook. But anyways, we've spent now about 25 minutes talking about it. Anyways, you have to love cats and dogs. You have to love dogs. And one of my goals within Bitcoin and my journey here myself is to do a lot of good for dogs. That's it. That's all I want. I mean, there's kids and dogs. If you ever ask me why I'm in Bitcoin and why I'm here right now, it's for kids and pets. Cats, whatever. I'm not a big cat guy, but dogs for sure. There's so many dogs out there who have been abused, mistreated, tortured, I guess you'd say. It's truly disgusting that any human could ever hurt or harm a dog or an animal, period. It's different if you're going to eat it, but just because you're a piece of shit. So one of the things that I want to do is build either build a shelter or fund shelters with Bitcoin. So I tell Arnie that almost every night when I say goodnight to him. I say, good night, Arnie. I love you. And you don't know how much of an impact you're going to leave on this world. And I believe that. I really believe that with from the bottom of my heart. I believe that Arnie, not necessarily him, just with the combination of things here and what we're going to be able to do with this channel with Bitcoin for dogs. And he's going to have a very lasting impact in the world. He's going to help a lot of dogs. So it's pretty cool to me. Bodhi says our dog came from a trauma background, never could master basic obedience. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? Arnie's really good. It's just a few things that really trigger him that really send him off the rails. But other than that, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. The nice thing about that too is I never have to worry that he's like going to destroy something, or because he's so scared. So like if his ball goes into a place it shouldn't be, he won't even get it because he's scared to wreck anything. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to send this to myself, but it doesn't seem to be working here. Hold on. So yesterday, I don't know if this happened yesterday after the show or during it, but there's some pretty big news out of the US. And that was our guy, RFK. He was confirmed yesterday. It was great news months ago when Trump announced that he was going to be, or RFK dropped out of the race as an independent and joined the Republicans, I guess, or he didn't really join them at the time, but he basically just pulled out. And he said, everybody who's going to vote for me, point your votes at Trump. So that was awesome. And then, I mean, he was a pretty big part of Trump's campaign and rallies and everything. And then Trump announced that he was going to be the head of, what is it, the director of health? I don't even know what it is. But then yesterday it was confirmed. And there was a lot of blowback and a lot of pushback from the reptiles and the people who are funded and live very well from sick people being sick. So yesterday, this man was confirmed as the what is he? I don't know. Confirmed. That's all it says. So let's watch this video. This is going to put me in a good mood. This is 3 minutes long. RFK, and hopefully we don't get pulled off of YouTube for showing this video, or we won't be able to monetize the show today, but that's okay. YouTube can keep its $3 that they're going to give me. All right. Cheers to, this is for Bobby Kennedy. Confirmed.
We are told today that our nation is hopelessly divided. But I found something different as I travel this country. I have witnessed an upwelling of optimism that I've never seen before. Something is stirring in us. Let's go take back our country.
RFK Jr. is just about ready to make headlines with his running mate choice.
I'm so proud to introduce to you my fellow lawyer, a brilliant scientist, technologist, a fierce warrior mom, Nicole Shanahan.
This campaign is so much more than politics. This campaign is about what is sacred, health and our families in this beautiful land that deserves much greater attention and care than we've given it.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s favorability is skyrocketing.
Bobby Kennedy just got up and said, America leads the world in chronic illness.
This is a real issue that we all face, and we're all being poisoned, and they're profiting off of it. But when someone like RFK Jr. comes along and says, hey, I think we can fix this, it's like, give him a chance.
This is a spiritual journey for me. For 19 years, I prayed every morning that God would put me in a position to end this calamity. The most unifying theme for all Americans is that we all love our children. If we all unite around that issue now, we can finally give them the protection, the health, and the future that they deserve.
Some have called this an unlikely partnership. Former President Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. have formed an alliance.
Former President Trump says he'll work with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to make America healthy again.
Tonight, I'm very pleased to welcome Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Don't you want healthy children? And don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
The MAGA unity movement is very, very strong in the United States right now. Arguably, it is the largest movement in the world.
MAGA should be entirely bipartisan. This is people wanting to make America healthy again.
The most powerful new force in American politics is these moms of the Make America Healthy Again.
This is a transcendent, powerful movement, and it crosses party lines.
I'm a mother to a child with special needs, and I will dedicate the rest of my life to fighting on behalf of children and their right to be healthy and their right to thrive.
If you are a well person, you have the American dream at your feet. But if you're sick, you only have one dream, and that's to get better. And I can promise you that we are going to make America healthy again.
Fucking rights, Bobby. It is the big issue to me. It is. I would say that, well, you know, I say this all the time on the show here, and I'm sure you guys have heard me say this 1,000 times before, but everything starts with the money. And when you think about the money in this scenario, I was going to say that the food and our health is just as important as that, but I think that it is the money. Because it's the incentives within the system that makes them want us sick. When we're sick, they're profiting from us. When we're healthy, they're not making anything from us. And so it's been years of very methodical, very sneaky, very diabolical ways to make people unhealthy. And when people are unhealthy, then they go to the doctor, and then the doctors get paid, and then the pharma companies get paid. And it all has to do with money. Even that scenario there, that's all about money. And I don't necessarily know that fixing the money would fix that, because I still think that they would have the incentive to make people sick. And regardless of what the currency is in that case, they could still profit from people being sick, whether you're paying your health bill in fiat or you're paying your health bill in Bitcoin. It doesn't matter much. And so the combination of things, for me, that's what's really happening right now. That's the big idea in my mind, is that it's more than just the money. We're fixing more than just the money. We're fixing our health. We're fixing our beliefs and our core values. And we're getting back to where we were decades ago. And we've somehow lost our way along the path here. But all these different things are tying in together. But you could still have Trump and you could still have RFK in there. But without Bitcoin, they couldn't do anything. It would be a very short-lasted victory for us. And without Bitcoin, or with Bitcoin and without guys like Bobby Kennedy, we would still have a very sick population. And so to me, the exciting thing is that all of these things are kind of coming together at the perfect time in history, during this revolution, during this uproar from people, and during this spiritual awakening, I would call it, in a lot of ways. And when you look at this day to day, it doesn't seem like we're making a whole lot of progress. But when you look back 4 or 5 years ago and how far we've come from then in terms of what people know, who people trust, we're a million miles ahead from where we were 4 years ago, a million miles ahead. And we're not going backwards now, because once you see that, once you see what's wrong with money, once you see what's wrong with pharma, once you see what's wrong with all this stuff, once your eyes are open to it, you never see things differently after that point. And that's really exciting to me, because that means we're never going back to that. And actually, I was talking to my dad today. I didn't see this clip, but he told me that one of the reporters asked Trump during the week about Bitcoin. And they asked him, what happens after you're not the president anymore? And there's not as much momentum for Bitcoin. What happens to the price after all these states and all these countries adopt Bitcoin? And all of a sudden you're not the president anymore. What happens to Bitcoin? And he said that. He said the exact same thing. He said that we're not going back. Essentially, that was kind of the concept that he said. We're not going back. This thing's moving in one direction, and we're never going back to that sick world that we were in before. And I believe that. I 100% subscribe to that theory. Because why would we? When we see these next 4 years play out and everything that's released to the public and everything that's made transparent to the public and how good things are and how prices go down, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, where nobody in their right mind would ever vote for the opposite of that. It doesn't matter how bad their memory is. When things are good, we don't need to change things. And so whether it's Trump, whether it's Vance, whether it's Elon, who cares who it is? This is much more than a person. This is much more than a title. This is a whole fucking movement of people like me, like you, watching this show on a Friday night, of people who want to make the world better for the kids, for the people who would not have a chance otherwise, for even the fucking rescue dogs. I don't mean to be swearing here. That's what beer usually does to me. But we're making this happen right now. It's not us versus them. It's just us. And we have to remember that every single day. It's just us. And what we think about, our actions that we take every day, every decision we make, we move this ship. It can be turned around. It can be put off track if we get lazy here and we start slipping up like we did, like what happened years ago. But I don't think it's going to happen, because there's just so much more information out here. The internet changed everything, and they tried their best to control it. They tried their best to label things misinformation and really restrict what people can see online, but they're going to fail. It's done. They've lost their grip on it, and we're never going back to that world anymore. And to me, that's awesome. And I'm very happy and very, I'm proud. I'm proud that I'm on this side of history, and you should be too. Timber Crasher says, God bless RFK and God bless America. Thank God there are men of God who love family, children, people being healthy, and who love America that are leading us. Trump and RFK, and many more. Timber Crasher, I would put Trump, RFK, Timber Crasher in there, and Bodie. It's awesome. It's awesome. So let's check this out. I had another thing here. Actually, you know what? I'll say that for another day. I was going to talk about the Proton wallet that just came out, which is part of the Proton ecosystem now. They got a Bitcoin wallet. I used it a couple months ago. I didn't really try it. I didn't really play around with it as much as I should have. But they released it to everybody. It was just in beta testing before for certain users. I guess you could sign up. I signed up, but I started using it yesterday, and it's pretty cool. It's very similar to like River. They unveiled you can send Bitcoin with email. You can actually do the same with Bitcoin Well now. I don't know if they've made this announcement yet, but you can send somebody an email with Bitcoin in it, and they can just claim it. And Proton Wallet's the same kind of thing. I could send Bodie Bitcoin right now if I knew his Proton email and I knew that he had a Proton wallet. I could send it not to his Bitcoin address, but to his email address, which is kind of cool to me. And the nice thing is it actually uses different wallets too. So you can keep your wallet. So this is my understanding of it anyway. So basically you have your core wallet within Proton, your primary Proton Bitcoin wallet. But then when you receive Bitcoin or when you want to send Bitcoin, it actually goes through a different address first. So it maintains your privacy there. So it's not static. In other words, if I was making payments to Bodie every week to his Proton, if I wanted to do it that way, and they didn't have that feature built in, I could essentially I could follow that transaction and see Bodie's total balance there. But this kind of has like a side route that it takes where it goes through, it has a different address for the money that you bring in, but it's all under the same wallet. So it's kind of similar to Sparrow in a way where you have multi addresses within one wallet. It's the same kind of thing, but I'm excited about it for a lot of reasons. But Proton's been they've been building a lot of traction and steam within the world here. And I don't know how many users they have, but now they have a Bitcoin wallet as part of their ecosystem. So it's pretty cool. So you don't need to do anything crazy. As long as you have an email address, you can now get Bitcoin. You don't have to download an app. You don't have to hire somebody to help you. As long as you have an email address with Proton, you can receive email or Bitcoin. So I think I'm going to do a video next week talking about the Proton wallet and kind of, I think it'll be beneficial, I think, anyways. But try it out. If you haven't yet, make sure you try it out and see what you think. I'm on this side. I'm on the side of like just try things within Bitcoin. Even if you have to spend you have to waste a couple sats or a couple $100 worth of sats just to try different things out within Bitcoin, I think it's totally worth it because your knowledge is going to grow. You're going to find things that you like within Bitcoin. And to me, that's worth it. So I try different wallets. I try different Lightning wallets. I try different exchanges. I'm kind of probably leaving too much of a footprint online, but I don't really care. I'm way past that now. So if I encourage everybody, just try things out. Try the Proton wallet. Anytime there's something new, don't put too much into it though. I've learned that lesson the hard way several times. In the eCash and mini bits, I've lost about 50,000 sats, I think, over a couple different hard lessons. But just make sure if you're playing around with new stuff, don't go too crazy with it. Keep it very minimal in terms of how much you're loading onto the wallets. Okay, so we're gonna watch this video here. I just gotta I got it brought up. Just want to make sure. I see a couple zaps here. Okay, here we go. Mars over in Zapstream said RFK is going to bring down big pharma. Fixing the money will fix it because Bitcoin will make the stock market obsolete. Will it? I don't know. I don't know if it'll make it obsolete. I don't subscribe to that theory. I think that the stock market is going to be cleaned up. I think it's going to be tokenized. And the companies who aren't the zombie corps are just going to, fall to zero compared to Bitcoin, as they've been doing for the last 10 years. The military is the one planning the whole operation. I agree with that. That I will agree with you there. This isn't contrary to popular belief. And I think that this is applicable for a lot of things that Trump has been doing. But contrary to popular belief, Trump is not the one making the plans right now. Trump's the figurehead. Trump's the marketing guy. Trump's the salesman. He needs to sell these ideas. He needs to show the public how bad things were and get people to buy in to what he's selling. It has not Trump. And this is with his meme coin. I don't think that Trump had any idea what a meme coin was or what the impact of this would be. It's his team. That is not the military, but everything that happens is behind the scenes. And whatever we hear Trump talk about, it came from somebody else. He's very good at speaking. He's very good at, talking candidly. But all of his information, all of his plans, his meme coin, it's all his team around him. He's just the figurehead of this whole operation. But I completely agree with the military planning the whole operation. 100%. Because you have to keep in mind here that the deep state, the evil people of this world, they put out their plan. You have to remember that. These people have put out their plan for 50 years or 100 years into the future. Have you guys heard of like Agenda 2020, Agenda 2021, Agenda 2020 or 2030, Agenda 2050? They are so fucking confident and arrogant and stupid that they literally publish their plans of what they want to do. And if you believe that there's not enough good people out there within these different entities who can counter every single move that they make, then I think that you don't have enough belief in the human beings. That's what I'll say to you. So I agree with that fully. Okay, so let's somebody sent me this video yesterday. And they said, I feel like this sentiment is kind of widespread within Bitcoin right now. They said, I saw this video. It makes me a little bit nervous. I'm not really sure what to think about it. I want to hear your thoughts on it. So I watched the video. It's only about 3 minutes long. We're going to watch it here. And so I sent him about I don't know, whatever you'd call it, 3-page text reply with my thoughts on it. And so I wanted to share because I think that these are the kind of things that we need to be talking about within Bitcoin. We can't just be happy when the price is going up. We can't just be excited when states are buying Bitcoin. We need to look at some of the potential threats for Bitcoin and why it's not as bad as maybe it's let out to be. So this is one. And this video is called "The Biggest Threat to Bitcoin is Elon Musk." Question mark, exclamation mark. So we're going to watch this and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. But I want to hear what you guys think of it as well after hearing it, before I say anything. So here he is. This is rich, makes you rich. I guess I need to bring it up. But it's interesting. And I wouldn't show it, just like the video we watched last week. I wouldn't show if there was no like merit there at all. And it was kind of just like completely out to lunch. There's some good points here. So we're going to watch this video and then we're going to talk about it and see what we think about it.
When you're evaluating an investment decision, you have to look at all the possible extinction level events that exist. The black swan, if you will. For Bitcoin, what is it? What is Bitcoin's biggest risk? It has the Lindy effect. It survived for 15 plus years as an open protocol, permissionless, decentralized. The beauty of its ingenuity is apparent to virtually all and has exceeded at times $100,000 price level. So what am I talking about as the risk to Bitcoin? Unfortunately, it's our old friend Elon Musk at Doge. Just imagine if he's able to clean up the government such that we have 0% inflation. What would be the purpose for somebody in the West to own Bitcoin? This is all while they're trying to spread the US dollar using a dollar-denominated token like Tether or USDC or whatever it is that they come up with. Yes, Bitcoin has other advantages. It's decentralized, it's permissionless. But for the majority of people, one of the main reasons to purchase Bitcoin is because it sucks up the liquidity that the government injects into the system. It acts as a sponge for this liquidity. Therefore, if that liquidity dries up, if the US government no longer has to borrow money because it's balanced its books by some miracle, thanks to old Elon, the demand for Bitcoin will dry up. Yeah, it'll still have value. It'll definitely still be worth something. It's still a collector's item. There are still people in other countries that aren't privy to the US system and will want something to store their wealth in, and there are going to be people that want to be able to take their wealth with them and don't want to be at the mercy of the US government. But for the average citizen, there's going to be no need for Bitcoin. Thus, the price is going to stop increasing and may even go down as the demand for it drops. That's the reality that we're faced with, that in my opinion, it might be Elon Musk who is the biggest threat to Bitcoin that exists. Let me know if you think I'm right in the comments section below. Thumb up the video, and thanks for thinking about this. It's greatly appreciated. Let me know if I'm wrong. Peace.
How about those fancy graphics and gun noise at the end? Guy's not messing around. That is, rich makes you rich. Unless you listen to Rich, then you're not going to be very rich. I mean, honestly, the guy had some good points. I'm not going to lie. I see some comments in here already. LOL, is he serious? But the guy had some good points. Like, it's true. It's absolutely true. If Elon and the US government can, start moving in the right direction, run a neutral budget, maybe even a surplus eventually, who knows? The demand for Bitcoin could dry up. I think he's thinking very short term with this. Like, absolutely. When you're thinking day to day, week to week, even year to year, this sort of logic does make sense, because in that case, the US dollar would just continue to rise. If the government could manage to get a hold of its spending to increase its revenues, its intake, reduce its outflows, then yes, the dollar will go up. The value for it will go up, and there wouldn't be as much of a need to hold something like Bitcoin in that situation. But we have to keep in mind here that that's not the only reason why Bitcoin is going up, because the US has been adding numbers to their balance sheet, creating free money essentially. That's not the only reason why Bitcoin's been going up in value. And I think it's important to kind of note right off the start that yes, Bitcoin for the last 10 years has gone up 60% per year on average. That's its compound annual growth rate. But if you compare that to real terms, it's not up that much. It's really not. It's up compared to everything else, but it's like not up that much, 60%. It might be like 40, which is still, extraordinary, but like inflation, let's say it's running from 10, 15, 20%. It's high, like it's serious. You look at the prices of anything right now, and it's kind of laughable, but it's also sickening. For the people who are holding their wealth in dollars right now, everything's getting much more expensive. For the people who are holding their time and energy in Bitcoin, everything's getting cheaper. That's the big disconnect right now. So what this guy's saying is that if the US was able to balance its budget, the demand for the US dollar would go up. It would hold its purchasing power longer, essentially. In like a 10-second blurb, that's essentially what he's saying there. But again, it's not just the US printing money that's causing Bitcoin to go up. There's a whole slew of reasons why this thing is extremely valuable. But I'll just read a couple things that I sent to him, because I want to make sure that I'm kind of staying on point here. So I said a few key things to note would be that there's only 5% of the Bitcoin to be mined for the next 100 years. 5% for the next 100 years will be mined. which is going to create a very interesting dynamic as the Bitcoin has to be bought from individuals holding Bitcoin. This will ultimately, they will, sorry, not this will, but they will, the people who are holding Bitcoin right now, like me, like you, we're the ones who are going to set the price on this thing. And that's the interesting thing to me, which will ultimately, as this big money that we were talking about before, like the hedge funds, the state pension funds, the big pools of money who want Bitcoin, they're going to have to buy it from us. So we kind of set the price here. We've looked at this chart ad nauseum for the last couple of weeks of who owns the Bitcoin right now. And for the big capitals of pool, if they want to increase their number of Bitcoin that they hold, they're going to have to get it from us. Because again, 5% of the Bitcoin supply for the next 100 years, that's it. That's the only 5% is their maximum. If they got every single coin that was mined for the next 100 years, they increase their holdings by 5% max. So it's going to come from us. And Bitcoin is incredibly useful in a lot of ways other than just being a sponge. So we're going to be the ones who set the price. And the other thing here is that the demand is going to be driven by the big pools of capital, plus the other 99% of the population who has not showed up to this party yet. So between those two things, us holding the Bitcoin, the price is probably going to go up significantly in the coming years. Plus, it's a big hypothetical. He's saying if the US balances the budget. All we've seen so far is a couple of tweets, a couple, some light being shone in a couple very sketchy areas of the US government. It might happen. It might not. It's a complete hypothetical right now, whether or not the US government will balance the budget and pay off its $37 trillion worth of debt. That's a pretty big if. I would honestly side with Elon here and say that I do think that there's a chance that they could actually balance the budget. I do. Because there's just so much waste out there. And if you mix in income taxes, tariffs, and eventually Bitcoin mining, I do think that the US will eventually turn it into a surplus. But these are two totally different things. The dollar can be created by a small group of people. It can be printed. It doesn't take any sort of real world energy or work to create those dollars. Bitcoin, you cannot do that with. It is hard, scarce money, hard, scarce capital. So over the long run, when you have two different things like that, one you can print, one you cannot print, the capital will continue to flow into Bitcoin over time. It doesn't matter if the budget's balanced. It doesn't matter. That's a very small part of this equation here. And the other thing I said, hold on. The other thing I said to him was that this is kind of like the bottom line. This is how I summed it up to him. I said, even if Bitcoin does happen to stay at $100,000 per Bitcoin, which was kind of his prediction there, that Bitcoin's not going to go up very much and it might actually start coming down, which, it's possible. For somebody like me, I know I do a show every day and I say that there's no ceiling on Bitcoin because there's really not. But let's just go along with what Rich is saying here and that we're going to stay at $100,000 forever. If that happens under this exact dynamic that we've been talking about here, if that happens, that means that the price of everything else has dropped significantly. So if the price of Bitcoin stays at 100K, we're going to see some serious deflation in every other aspect of society. Housing prices might be $50,000. That's what's going to have to happen here. It can't be both. It can't be both. So I said, forget about the fiat price here because that is a complete illusion. Honestly, when you have the ability to create as much as you want and you have no idea how many units of those of that currency exist, it's a complete illusion. It's just a complete guess. So if you put that aside, if you take the fiat price out of this equation here, the purchasing power of Bitcoin will increase forever, purely based on supply and demand dynamics here. So the purchasing price will go up forever. And really, that's the only thing that matters at the end of the day. Because you have to consider this, even if the price of Bitcoin went to $1 million next week, but the price of the average house went up to $800,000 per house, we haven't really gotten ahead at all. It's just everything's going up and Bitcoin's going up with it. But because of the dynamic where there are certain assets that you can print and you can create without any real work or energy, and you have an asset over here called Bitcoin that requires real world energy, proof of work, and that you cannot create more of, all of the fake assets will flow into that over time. So put the fiat price out of the equation here. Purchasing power of Bitcoin will go up forever because of the fixed and scarce supply. That's it. So am I worried about this? No. Because again, even if the price of Bitcoin stayed at $100,000, that means that everything else has dropped significantly. And I don't know if that's going to happen. It might, but not anytime soon. So these kind of theories, these kind of videos, these always pop up when we're sideways for a while, when there's a lot of hype, and then we kind of go down and then we chop for a while. But like within a couple of weeks here, when the price of Bitcoin's like $200,000 or $300,000 per Bitcoin, Rich is going to look pretty silly. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. And yeah, exactly. Like this is what I'm talking about. $36 trillion worth of debt got to be settled somehow, some way, plus the ability to just create more out of literal thin air. That has to flow into Bitcoin. And it's actually not just going to be like the inflation that flows into Bitcoin, right? And this is like the kind of the other point that he's missing here is that with Bitcoin unlocks the worldwide economy. So all of the productivity now of the world, whether you're a server, whether you're an accountant, whether you're a guy on YouTube, whether you're doing something online, the internet and Bitcoin now, with the ability to send micropayments across the web, that unlocks the whole economy. And that's why when people say like it's impossible for Bitcoin to hit $100 million because there's not even that much capital in the world. Yeah, there's not enough capital in the centralized, controlled, manipulated system that we're used to here. Right? Because when you have the ability to control the monetary system, you decide basically what the ceiling is on this. It eventually runs away from you a little bit, but like you essentially get to control the cap on that. But when all of a sudden there's a new asset that's introduced that isn't able to be created out of thin air, that changes everything. And so now all of this capital that we're talking about here, the 36 trillion, all the money that's been created in the last 4 years, 40% of the total monetary supply, yes, that's going to flow into Bitcoin, but also just human potential forever is now going to flow into Bitcoin. Human potential is unlimited. The only limit on that is our imagination. And that is all going to flow into Bitcoin over time, with or without the US dollar, with or without Donald Trump, with or without Elon Musk. That is all. Bitcoin is the unlock to all of that human potential flowing into Bitcoin. So again, some decent points raised here, but overall, kind of out to lunch. I don't know how well, I haven't checked out any other videos on his channel. I'm not sure if he's a Bitcoiner or not. I just watched the video and that was kind of my take on it. So that was fun. I like doing this stuff like that. We got a couple zaps here. We got a couple zaps rolling in. We got an anonymous zap of 100 sats. We had an anonymous zap of 369 sats. And we got a zap over on Zapstream from Mar, 21 sats. And I see a couple other people in there. Phoenix Falconers over in Zapstream. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm just about to, I was going to say wrap things up, but looky what showed up here. Looky. We went from not doing a stream, almost freezing to death, to now we have a Jameson whiskey lemonade. So I need to, if we're gonna keep rolling here, we need to change gears here a little bit because I can't get too wound up, especially if I'm drinking whiskey. So let's have some real lighthearted conversations, nothing too serious, nothing that I'm gonna get wound up on, and we'll stick around for a little while. We're going to have to eat something here eventually, but we'll stick around for a little while. Sharper, do you have a tutorial on Aqua Wallet? No. Or do I? I don't know. Good question. I think I might have done one on 365 days of Bitcoin, but I don't think it's available on my channel. Sharper, what do you want to know about it? We can talk about Aqua quickly because that is something that I absolutely love, don't talk enough about, and can talk about without getting wound up and emotional and making a fool of myself on the internet. So I would suggest every single person here who's watching the show now or later, you have to have the Aqua wallet in your toolbox. It is the best Bitcoin wallet. Outside of Sparrow on desktop, Aqua wallet is number one. And it took me quite a while actually to arrive at that, that theory, but it's the absolute truth. I love Aqua wallet. So I'll give you like an example of, okay, so Sharper says I've never used any Lightning wallet, just looking to use it. So what I would say though, is if you are somebody who's just like kind of getting into Lightning, you've been in Bitcoin for a while, maybe you own some Bitcoin, you're just learning about like sending Bitcoin stuff and you want to dip your toes into Lightning. The one thing that I would say is that make sure you have a complementary Lightning wallet with Aqua, because Aqua's an amazing wallet. It's very functional, very useful. But the one thing that it's missing is a Lightning address, which if you're going to use Nostr, if you're going to use Zapstream, if you're going to use all of these different things that you can use within Bitcoin, you have to actually have a Lightning wallet that you can send like an address. It looks like an email address. So what I would say is if you are going to use a wallet like Aqua, which I suggest that every single Bitcoiner has the Aqua wallet on their phone and uses it, make sure you have a secondary Lightning wallet as well. So I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of kind of my flow here in terms of how I utilize the Aqua wallet. So I use an exchange like Bitcoin Well. I use Bitcoin Well, but you can use something like Strike or River, or Bull Bitcoin might also offer it too. I love Bitcoin Well, and we'll give away some sats right after this, after we talk about Aqua wallet from Bitcoin Well. But what I do there is I set up a recurring buy. You don't have to have a recurring buy. You can buy Bitcoin and send it to your wallet over Lightning. So what I do is I buy it on Bitcoin Well, I send it to my Lightning wallet, which is, let's say, Speed Wallet or Koinos, Wallet of Satoshi. One of those three probably are the best. So you send it from the exchange to your Lightning wallet. 0 fees. You can send it over Lightning, 0 fees. And then I send it from that wallet, my kind of in-between wallet there, either Speed, Wallet of Satoshi, Koinos, to Aqua. And I let it just stay in Aqua for a while. I kind of consider it like my holding tank for Bitcoin, for Lightning. So I send it from Lightning wallet to Aqua, and it just stays there for a while. And because I trust, number one, I trust Aqua, obviously. And number two, it actually has a private key. So if something were to happen to my phone, I have 12 words written down where I could just get a new phone and download Aqua, put in my 12 words, and my Bitcoin would be there. So I feel very comfortable holding, even though it's a custodial wallet, I feel very comfortable holding my sats on Aqua. So I just kind of let them build up there for a while. And then they get to, say, 150,000 sats, 200,000 sats, more. That's when I actually swap it from Lightning to on-chain. And then I send it to my cold card, or my cold storage. You don't have to use a cold card, but cold storage. And as soon as I send it from Aqua to my cold storage, that Bitcoin's pretty much going to be there forever. That's how I see it. So the Lightning wallet is kind of the first step, kind of the hinge here. And then it stays in Aqua wallet until I have a big enough balance to move it to cold storage. And then I swap it to on-chain, and then I send it to my cold wallet where it stays forever. So that's kind of my process. So there's no fees on the initial transfer. There's hardly any fees from moving it to Lightning to your Aqua wallet. You'll have to pay a bit of a fee to swap it. And then of course you'll have to pay a small fee to send it to your cold storage, but you can wait. You can wait for the mempool to kind of clear. You don't have to worry about like when you're sending, how much you're buying, stuff like that. If you just kind of follow that process there, you're going to do very well in terms of fees and UTXO management. So that's throughout my time in Bitcoin here, that's been the best kind of flow that I've found, the cheapest, most efficient, and most trustworthy flow that I found. Hey, we got a couple of people in here. Mar shortened his name, as it looked like. I thought there was a bunch of new chats in there, but Mar just changed his name. Hey, who's that guy? What? What are you doing out there? Who's that handsome fella? Oh yeah, let's crack this. Let's test out this Jameson. I wanted to get some ice with this, but look at this nice cup. You guys recognize that logo at all? Waste Management, Phoenix Open. It's a good cup. It's supposed to be like a red Solo cup, but glass. It's pretty badass. This is probably going to be very sugary. I'm not going to have this whole thing here on this in one sitting. Need to add some ice and water to it. But I see a couple more zaps here over on the Zap stream. Spaceman. What's up, guys? Happy evening to you all. Zapped 88 sats. And Ahsoka zapped 88 sats as well. Cheers to you. We're taste testing whiskeys tonight on the show. Does that make sense, Sharper? By the way, if you're interested in, I don't know if I put it in the show notes or not today. I usually do. But if you're looking for like a really solid Lightning wallet, in addition to your Aqua wallet, use Speed. I love the Speed wallet. There's a lot of things you can do within the app. I wouldn't keep a large balance on there, maybe like 10 or 20,000 sats at most, and then you move it to your Aqua wallet. But Speed wallet is very good. And if you want to, I'm pretty sure I have a referral code in my show notes for the Speed wallet. It's like EPN SI5. I've said a lot on here. I memorized it. EPN SI5, I think that's what it is. But you get like 500 free sats if you use that when you download the Speed wallet. So check that out. Maybe I'll just double check here. I'll get Bitcoin Well opened up right now. We'll give away some Bitcoin. If you have the Speed wallet, I would suggest you use it here because it's very fast, or Wallet of Satoshi. But let's give away some biddy here. Let's give away some biddies. That's stupid. Oh man, Bitcoin Well made me send in a video for the Bitcoin Well for my landing page, and I just looked like a complete dipshit in the screenshot. So unless you watch the video, you're gonna be like, "Who is this idiot?" Hey, there's a little zappy. We got an anonymous 21 sat zap. We'll take it. We will take it. Thank you for that. All right. Get your phones out. Get your Lightning wallet open. Press send. And get ready to scan this, because the fastest person to scan this is going to win some free sats. I guess I got to bring it up on the screen here, though, first, eh? What do you think, Arnie? All right, ready? Set. Go. Smells pretty good. The coldie continues. The coldie continues. And let's see how strong my relationship is with Bitcoin Well if I talk about coldies. I don't know if I mentioned briefly coldies the other day on the live stream. I think it was yesterday morning, because we've been on a 210 coldie here for quite a while. And I said, are you guys familiar with the term coldie? We used to say coldie in university and college when a guy would go an extended time without, getting lucky, getting laid. He was on a cold streak, coldie. So we're on a 210 sat coldie here right now. And you know what? I think we should maybe keep tossing coins. This might come back to bite me. I don't know. We'll maybe try 3. We'll try 3 tosses tonight for everybody for showing up on a Friday, for Arnie being alive, and for having a pretty good start to the show here, an hour and a half into it today. So we're going to give away 3. We're going to snap the coldie tonight. So congrats to whoever won that. And Bitcoin, I'm probably going to get an email from Bitcoin Well after the show today saying, sorry, Jor, we'd like to cut ties with you. Fuck. Okay. Well, we're down to the last one here, folks. Another 210. Big shout out to Bitcoin Well, by the way. They don't have to be doing stuff like this. They really don't. They don't pay me anything, but they pay the community, which is what I love. People get rewarded every day for showing up here. You might win some free sats, courtesy of the Bitcoin Well. You might get 200. You might be stuck on the 210 coldie, but that's okay. It's still 210 sats. So we're going to try this one more time. And if we fail this, I don't know. We're going to probably have to take the week off of giving away Bitcoin, but let's keep your fingers crossed, keep your toes crossed, and let's try this again. Come on, baby. Come on. Snap it. Snap it. I don't know what to do. I forget what even we did. I shouldn't say that. I better stop now. I was going to say, how do you snap a coldie? Okay, we're going to do one more. We're going to burn all our monthly budget here on one show today, but that's okay. We're going to snap this coldie. Come on, baby. We want it. We need it. Fuck. I don't know what else to do. I'm trying here. I'm trying my best. Okay, last one. Absolute last one here. I don't know what more we can do. Everybody, I need you to do this with me. Whatever hand you're not scanning with here, keep your fingers crossed. Everybody watching the show right now. I don't care if you're even scanning. We're going to snap this coldie right here, right now. I believe we're going to do it. The coldie will be snapped. Okay, that's it. That's all I can do because I'm actually going to run out of tosses here, and we still have like, I don't know, 16 days left in February. 10 days. Yeah, we're over budget already. I'm sorry, everybody. I tried. I went from 3 to 4 to 5, and we failed. But that's pretty typical of a cold streak. No matter what you try to do, no matter what you wear, no matter how you switch up your routine, sometimes coldies are just coldies, and there's no real rhyme or reason for it. It's just, it's just the way she goes. So we tried. We tried our best. Hey, My Path to Fire is here. Hello, My Path to Fire. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, he's hitting the sack. Okay. Well, he zapped 88 sats and hit the sack. Laughpad says, what's the Speed Wallet promo code again? I better double check that I'm saying that right. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head here. Oh, I was right. EPN SI5. So that's kind of an actionable item, I think, for everybody. Oh, what did I do there? If you want to try out Lightning, if you want to like really maximize your Bitcoin flow, get the Speed Wallet and the Aqua Wallet and start buying your Bitcoin and withdrawing with Lightning. You're going to save a lot of fees and a lot of future headache. So that's I just put the code there in the chat. Maybe I'll bring it up here in case people are listening to it. But I'll put it in the chat here for both chats. EPN SI5. See, Arnie? Into the darkness he goes. It looks a lot different here in the nighttime, eh? Soka said I had to use both hands on the Speed Wallet, so I crossed my toes instead. Guess you didn't help. Yeah, I think that's probably what it was. You kind of screwed us. Okay, we're not going to start winding things up yet, but we probably should before things really get off the rails here. John Cool. Says with more people with phones that can hold and buy with money digitally, Bitcoin will 60 plus every year. There's always money. They just must learn to buy only Satoshis, not Bitcoin anymore. Yep, that's true. That's true. When you have, I forget what the law is, but like all easy money flows into hard money. Or all easy assets flow into hard assets over time. That's just what has happened every single time in history. Like this is nothing groundbreaking. We just have like the best possible, the hardest possible form of currency now with Bitcoin. Yeah, we're live. We are absolutely live. Can you believe it? I can't myself. John Cool says, how's the dog? Arnie's good. We had a bit of a scare. I don't know. Maybe I was over concerned, but there he is right there. He shook it off. AV says, I'm a business operations guy / nerd. If you feel comfortable sharing, what do you hope to accomplish over the next year for the channel? Ooh, that's a really good question. That's a really good question. I got a couple different things. I don't know how detailed you want me to get here. Kind of my thing right now that what can I say? How can I answer this question? This is a really good question. And, I'd like to say I should think about this stuff more, but I really think about this stuff all the time. And so kind of my goal with this specific channel is to just be consistent, show up every single day, because it's really easy to just kind of like talk and say things and post things. But when you're actually doing it, I think people respect that a lot more. There's a famous quote that kind of says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I really subscribe to that theory. I think that's regardless of what industry or what you do in your life, if people don't think you care about it, then nobody's going to care about what you do. They're just not. And I've seen that firsthand in some of the ventures I've had in my life, some of the jobs I've had, some of the other things I've done and projects I've worked on. People can really sense when you don't care about it, and then they don't care. So being consistent, showing up every day, leading, I guess, by example in that sense, would be one. But again, I have no interest or no dreams of like turning this channel into like a 1 million subscriber channel. I just know that it's never going to happen, and I don't want it to. Because I think that if I were to ever hit 1 million subscribers, I would have to play by the rules of hitting 1 million subscribers. And I think we all know what those rules are. They're not like clear cut, but I mean, just simple things like not swearing, simple things like, not talking politics, not standing up for what you believe in, not really taking a side, not, sticking your neck out a little bit. I think I've done a pretty good job of being, consistent of what I stand for, what I believe in. And I don't really give a shit what, if you don't like that, I don't care if you subscribe to this channel. I'm not asking you to. Subscribe to this channel if you want to support me and you like what I do. That's it. And if you don't like it, go find somebody else to watch. So I've been very consistent with that from day one on this channel. And I think it's served this very well. I think we built an incredible community here within this channel, the people who show up every day, the Living the Future community. And it's going to continue to just go in that direction. So we've already got rid of the bullshit from this. So I don't think that this channel will ever be 1 million subscribers, no matter how hard I work. It's not in the cards for it. And I don't want it to be. But then you look at a channel like Maple Bitcoin, which we just launched last week. I do see something like that where that channel could be one of the biggest Bitcoin channels on YouTube. I really believe that, because you have 3 fairly knowledgeable guys in terms of Bitcoin, 3 guys who are very consistent, 3 guys who are very much aligned. We think the same, but we also have very much different perspectives. We're all kind of the same age. And that's kind of like this Bitcoin demographic itself is like from 30 to 50, the majority of people here. And so when people resonate, I think, with people of kind of the same age for the most part, But that's also going to be like a clean channel. There's not going to be a whole lot of swearing. It's going to be very focused on like helping people, growing education within Bitcoin. So I think that Maple Bitcoin is going to be like the big channel. I really believe that. I mean, it's not a huge number, but like in a week, we have like 700 or 600 subscribers on there already, just because we put in the work and people, I guess, trust what we say and what we talk about. So that's one component of it. That's kind of like my YouTube vision for where this is going. But the big thing for me is going to be the 8 Satoshis. I think that what we're going to be building there, what I'm kind of in the process of building now, is going to be a place where people, like-minded individuals who are kind of like all interested in Bitcoin, health, fitness, eating good, some of the conspiracy stuff. It's going to attract all of these subsets kind of that are, linked by Bitcoin, and really provide a solid foundation of education, resources, people you can ask questions to, people you can trust, a marketplace where you can buy and sell. I really think that 8 Satoshis is going to be something very special for Bitcoin. And so that's going to be coming out in 2026. We're going to be spending this year building it up. And it's not just going to be me. That's the thing that I believe in, is because I've kind of maxed myself out here. Truly. I can't scale what I have going right now. It's just not possible for me. So with this 8 Satoshis, with this new venture, I'm going to have like 30, 40, 50 people who are all incentivized to grow this thing and add value to it and help people. And that's what it's going to be. So it's not going to be me. I'm not going to get all the proceeds. I'm going to be an equal owner with everybody else in that group, but it's going to be for Bitcoin to help push this thing forward. Because at the end of the day, going back to what we were talking about before with RFK, the whole reason we're doing this stuff is for change, for the kids, for children of this planet who, okay, we can't go down that road. For the kids, we'll just leave it there. That's the why. And then there's the how. These are all the how we grow this thing. And then there's a couple other things too, like the Bitcoin Citadel. I'm extremely excited about because we're going to have some very unique offerings there. And this channel is going to be a big driver of people hearing about Bitcoin Citadel. So I think we're going to have like the same amount of expertise and knowledge for a very much more reasonable rate for people who are getting into Bitcoin and Bitcoiners who want to, round out their knowledge a little bit more, secure their Bitcoin a little bit better. Very knowledgeable people within that group. Plus the super backed, the security thing, the inheritance protocol, having Craig on our team, having access to a guy like Craig is invaluable. Even if I swear, even if you don't have much interest in like a better Bitcoin security setup and super backed, signing up for that service just so you have like one-to-one access and like constant communication with Craig is worth it. So that's another one. And then I got a couple other projects I'm going to be not working on, but like helping. You know what? I'll tell you guys about this right now. This is what happens when you have a couple beers, and especially a whiskey or two. Laugh pad. Look at this fat zap. Oh my God, man. That's a fatty, all right. We're going to call that a definite fatty. 8.888 sats. Fat Zap Friday. Laugh pad. Cheers to you, my friend. You are the man. I appreciate that very much. And Ahsoka, also, not to be outdone, 420 sats himself. Thank you, Ahsoka. Very much appreciated. Okay, and you guys are going to get a sneak peek here. I don't know how interested you are in this or not, but you asked, so I'll share. This is, and I don't know if he's watching or not, but I actually was reached out to by somebody who watches the channel here. And we kind of met from a mutual source, which led him to the channel and Bitcoin, and he's a Bitcoiner too. And so this is something I'm going to be spending a little bit of time and energy and talking about quite a bit on this channel here because, assuming that I try it and I like it, that's kind of where we are right now. I've heard about it. I've read about it. I subscribe to it, but now I got to try it for myself. So I kind of gave a bit of a teaser about this the other day. But this is very interesting to me, and it ties into Bitcoin too, which is even more exciting to me. So I'll tell before I show you the website here or anything, I'm gonna just kind of tell you a little bit of a story here. So this is a product, and I don't know enough about it. I'm actually gonna have the guy on our Living the Future channel because I want some people within Living the Future to be selling this with me. But I'm gonna bring him on. He's gonna be able to tell the story and how this came to be. But apparently, this company, this product, it's a very good technology that I don't even know what you call it. It gets stuff into the bloodstream. I don't know what it's called. I'm not a medical guy. I don't claim to be, but it's a proprietary way of getting a topical cream into your bloodstream very effectively. And so what this does, it's actually lactic acid. And if you're a hockey fan like I was, you'd remember the Ottawa Senators. After every hockey game, they'd be on their bikes trying to build up their lactic acid to help with recovery and soreness. So that's what they were trying. But essentially what this thing does is it just puts it right in your bloodstream without having to do anything. So it not only gets rid of soreness and aches, which a lot of people go through, including me, but it also increases your performance. So I mentioned that Usain Bolt actually used this product in the Olympics when he won his last gold medal. He was using this product. There's a ton of professional athletes between MMA, rugby, like the Red Blacks, I think they're called. They love this product. It's only been available to like professional sports teams before. It was never marketable to the average person. It was never for sale. You couldn't buy it. And this product is so good. And I know you're going to hear me say this. You're going to be like, yeah, this guy's full of shit. But hear me out. This product is so good that it's legal. It doesn't have anything against the rules in it. It's completely legal for all athletes to use. And it only has 2 simple ingredients in it: carnosine and magnesium. That's it. Carnosine's kind of the magic of the product. So carnosine and magnesium. I think it's carnosine. I don't pretend to be an expert here. But anyways, so it's so good that some NHL guys bought the company. They obviously shared it with their NHL buddies. And the NHL made a rule that you can use this product as long as you make it available for every away team. Every time they come to your arena, you have to have one of these bottles in the away team's dressing room. And so I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. But I texted my buddy who plays in the NHL. And I said, hey, have you ever heard of this product before? It's called Lactigo. And he's like, no, I've never heard of it before. So I'm like, instantly, I'm like, okay, I've been schemed here. I've been scammed. I didn't really think that, but I was like, okay, maybe there was some, embellishment or exaggeration there. So he's like, no, I never heard of it before. I don't know what that is. The next day, he sends me a Snapchat of this bottle, a big bottle, actually. It's not one of the retail ones, but a big bottle in the dressing room there. He's like, is this what you're talking about? I'm like, all right, this guy wasn't fucking with me here. So this is the product here. You guys can go check this out if you're interested. I don't know how we led. Oh, actually, I do know how we got led here. But anyways, it's very interesting to me. It's not going to be for sale anywhere. It's going to be strictly online. It's called Lactigo. So it's a performance and recovery gel. And so you apply it to all the engaged muscle groups. So this guy basically says you can put it on anything. It's supposed to increase your performance by 15%. That's what all these thousands of studies have shown. So you got thousands of studies. You got testimonials from professional athletes. You have real life use cases like Usain Bolt, NHL teams, the New Zealand Red Blacks, I think that's the name of them, MMA guys. You can look at all this stuff. So when you see it, look at this. Vegas Golden Knights, they were using this when they won the Stanley Cup. ESPN called the best kept secret. Business Insider, soon to be in every gym bag. Yes, helps with muscle recovery. Many NHL teams are using it. Where was the other stuff I wanted to show you? Yeah, the ESPN actually did a full story on it, which is kind of nuts. The ex-NHL teammates working on their hockey's secret remedy. So you can look at this yourself. It's actually not even available to the public yet. But yeah, that's go check this out, you guys. It's so it's wild to me. I don't know how this came into my life, but they actually own the rights to it for like the technology. So they're going to be able to do this with like anything. They're going to be able to do this with like creatine. So you don't have to actually like shake it up and drink it. And, you know, you can just rub a cream on and get all the effects of like a creatine. So part of this, again, going back to the original question here of where I see this whole thing going, like I really want to put a focus on like the health side of things. And I'm not going to be like working out or showing you guys my workouts or talking about it, but I want to share products that people within this community have used and tried and will benefit other people out there to make everybody healthy again. Because again, without our health, Bitcoin's useless. So again, I'm going to try this. I'm actually going to need some people here to help me sell it. I'm going to be selling it obviously on this channel, and anybody can order it from me. I'm not going to be shipping it out of my basement here, but yeah, it's not going to be available in like any stores or any retail stops. You got to go through the distribution has to go through the reps. So it's kind of cool. It's very exciting to me. It's very exciting to me. So we got some good comments in here. AV says, great advice, George. Staying consistent both with your engagement and convictions. Great to be a part of this community. I appreciate that. Commitment to all of us is very appreciated. And I really feel a part of the group. That's what we want. Because again, like I'm absolutely, I'm just a guy. I've said this before. I'm just a guy that lives in the woods and loves Bitcoin. That's it. Like there's absolutely nothing special about me at all. The special part of everything that's being built right now is the people and how everybody's kind of on the same frequency. Everybody's working towards the same goal. And that's when magic happens. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. That's why I go back to the consistency here. Because I know that as long as I keep showing up here and you guys keep showing up, that really good things are going to be created. I'm 100% certain with that. Absolute certainty. We got absolute scarcity in Bitcoin, and we got absolute certainty in this. What's the price? I have no idea. I have no idea. I know it's going to be very reasonable though. I had to order a package. So I actually got like a full pack of like samples and stuff. It was pretty expensive, honestly, but I think I'm getting a lot of stuff, which I'm going to be able to like give out to friends, family to try it out, to test out myself. But I just wanted to give you guys a bit of a teaser, and I'm interested. If you got like a good network and you're, you know, got 10, 15 hours a week that you want to commit to doing this, there's a lot of opportunity here. And the last thing I forgot to mention, which ties back to Bitcoin, is that if you are like a rep for Lactigo, eventually you're going to be able to be paid in Bitcoin for your commissions. The owner of Lactigo is a Bitcoiner. Like the team who owns Lactigo, they're Bitcoiners. And so they're going to be implementing Bitcoin into their payout structure for these products. That's what got me interested. That's what, you know, if I was a fish, that's what got me. And then obviously when you see real life testimonials and, you know, hearing about this stuff, it gets you a little bit more excited, a little bit more interested. Oh, I'm still pissed. I'm still pissed about Bitcoin Well and our 210 Coldie. All right. Well, we're just about 2 hours here, folks. 7 o'clock. Holy shitskis. Okay. What a wild day today. What a wild day. So I'm going to do a little bit of work. I got to post a video actually after this for our 365 days of Bitcoin. So unfortunately, the work is not over for me. But I do want to say thank you because, you know, I like doing these kind of shows. Sometimes I get a little bit emotional. Sometimes I say some stupid shit. But I think that that's why people show up, because when things are live and you show up every day doing a live show, you know, you're going to get some things wrong. You're going to say some stupid shit, some things you regret, but that's part of being human. And that's why I love what's being built here, because everything is real. There's no script, there's no graphics, there's no music, there's nothing. It's just people talking about Bitcoin and other things and trying to make the world a better place. That's it. Could be Bitcoin, it could be anything, but that's what unites us here is Bitcoin in this case. And you can sense that. I can sense that from everybody who watches this show. Everybody's kind of on the same mission. Nobody's here to like make $1 million and cash out and go back to their fucking job. People are here for the revolution. And, you know, just to be a small part of it, I think is pretty cool. So I do want to say thanks. I want to say thanks for all the zaps today. Creature, I don't know if you're still here or not. 50 sats. Mar, Spaceman, Ahsoka, My Pat the Fire, Laugh Pad with a fatty, Ahsoka, and of course some zaps in here. I think I missed one too. An anonymous person sent in 888 sats. 2 anonymous people actually. We got 2,000 sats from somebody for Arnie, and we got 7,000 sats from Letha. So it has been a fairly fat Zap Friday. I don't think anything will ever beat that one Friday we had. That was a really fat Zap Friday. But anyways, we made it today. Arnie's okay. Everything's good in the world. And now we get to enjoy the Friday night. Might have some wine. Don't even know what I'm going to have for supper yet, to be honest with you. So what happens when you leave me by myself? Lose my dog, get frostbite, and do a 2-hour live stream. Anyways, is there anything else we want to talk about here? Or should we wrap things up? I got a little bit of drink left. I think that's probably it. I don't know. Who knows? I like drinks like this, except they're really, really sweet. Carbonated water, sugar, Irish whiskey, and some other bad stuff. I like these drinks, but they're super, super sugary. And I'm not a big sugar guy. If I had the choice between sugar and salt, I'm taking salt all day, baby. All day. Soka says, I like this time slot. Morning time for me. I probably wouldn't join for a beer, but looking forward to the next one. Yeah, we're definitely not going to make this like a thing. We're not going to make this a thing. But Rajat, Forrest, and myself with Maple Bitcoin are going to be hopefully doing a live stream once a week. We're going to do it the same day every week. It's looking like Friday right now. And that's going to be a really, I think, beneficial stream for a lot of people, because we're just going to answer questions. We'll probably run through a couple topics, but we'll just take we'll let it ride. And so we're going to be doing a live stream every week. We're going to be coming out with a couple new videos every week. And that's going to be the channel, Maple Bitcoin. It is going to be a big thing. And I think that because, you know, we all have fairly, those guys have huge channels. I have a little baby channel compared to them. But yeah, very knowledgeable guys. And we're going to keep it clean, which is the only way that you can really grow a channel on YouTube. Honestly, like not talking about... Conspiracy guys don't do very well on YouTube. Let's just say that. And I'm a proud conspiracy guy. Conspiracy guys are shooting about 100 and 0 right now. We're shooting about 1,000%. So I'm a proud conspiracy guy. But anyways, make sure if you haven't yet, go check out Maple Bitcoin. You can just the best thing you can do is just search at Maple Bitcoin in the YouTube search box. And, or you can just go there. I'll maybe throw this in the Zap stream quickly too, in case there's people on there who haven't subscribed yet, but a lot of people have. And I want to say thank you for that. So, all right. Cleaner Machine says, thanks for the late show, Jor. Have a great weekend, everybody. Sharper, God bless. Love Maple Bitcoin. Red meat and salt, #1. Yeah, I might have some red meat, actually. I bought some steaks yesterday. I was actually in line buying steaks when Bodie's live stream was on that I was supposed to be a part of. So sorry, Bodie. I had to miss that one yesterday, but I think you handled yourself pretty well. You might want to actually lose the baggage here, lose the dead weight. We'll see. Dagger, I came late. I should have enabled notifications. Yeah, that's a good point. Whether you're subscribing to this channel or not, if you are, make sure you're subscribing to the notifications there. It helps the channel, and it lets you know when we have weird live streams like this once in a while. And do the same for Maple Bitcoin too, because we're going to be coming out with a few videos here in the next couple weeks, and then we're just going full bore into it. Live streams, videos, Maple Bitcoin taking over the world. So thank you once again, everybody. Thank you for the support, for being here. And it wasn't our usual crowd tonight, but it's also Friday night, so we had a good show. Kept her under 2 hours. Didn't say anything we regret, I don't think. Although our relationship with Bitcoin Well might be on the rocks after I blew 5 tosses and was talking about getting laid while I was doing it. So to help me out, make sure you go get yourself an account at Bitcoin Well. Ease some of the bad impacts that'll come from the show. But I'm just joking. I know the majority of people here already use Bitcoin Well, and I appreciate all of you. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep fighting the good fight. And remember, you only get about 4,000 Fridays in your life. So don't waste a single one of them. We'll see you guys on probably Monday morning. We'll see. So it's a holiday here, but when you're self-employed, there are no holidays. So we'll probably see you Monday morning. Bye-bye.